Yikes, we're off to a rocky start. It's your turn to
Oh, is it for me?
consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello, and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT,
And I'm Drew.
and we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired. So this just in.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting breaking news. Hey, bud, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, I kept putting up the no trespassing signs, but
I don't read English, so
that's true.
don't bother me one way or the other.
There you go. 80%, baby.
80%, baby, is all you need. Story of my life.
Yeah, story up. Hey, as long as it's passing.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22.
You're catching.
When she's 22.
22.
At least it's legal.
That it is, JT. Nice segue into a quick little... I'd like to give 2 shout-outs today. Okay?
Ooh, 2 shout-outs. Okay.
Yep. One shout-out to... I guess it's more of a company.
Okay.
You might have heard of it. They're growing their platform a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. It's called TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting big.
They are. So we posted a short out there for everyone to enjoy on all the platforms. And
Yes.
TikTok had an issue with it. So if you guys go out there and you're looking for it on TikTok, you're not going to find it because we have violated the community standards.
Yes, you did.
You were the one in front of the camera.
I was just doing what you were telling me to do.
But I was
All
running
right.
on white power.
I might have dabbled in the script a little bit.
Yeah, got us kicked off the internet. Thank you very much.
Hey, well, when you get kicked off the line, move to another one.
It's almost as bad as, the old dial-up days and picking up the phone and then hanging it back up. No, dang it! Who kicked me off the internet?
I gotta redo this.
Yeah. So that's one shout-out. Other shout-out, and you may be a little more excited about this one. It's option J.
That one did have me laughing.
I heard you laugh out loud on that one earlier today in our business meeting.
Yes, yeah, in the office.
Oh, goodness.
Well, every time one plopped down, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you were. And I'm sitting over there. For one, I can't really breathe through my nose.
Right?
So I'm breathing out of my mouth, but I'm trying to be quiet about it. So I'm closing my mouth, trying to breathe out of my nose, and that's making more noise. So all you're hearing is...
I'm not hearing anything. I think by like the second plop, I'm sitting there going...
Ooh, that was cold.
No, I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I'm being loud enough. Maybe he's not hearing me.
I'd like to shout out our very own JT. Do you want to know why?
Why
Because
is that?
JT not only does what he's told when he's told, he goes above and beyond for the show.
I try. We're trying to grow the JT
We
and
are.
Drew Show on multiple platforms.
We're trying to grow it on multiple platforms. There was one platform in particular that slipped my mind, and I sent him a text and said, oh, hey, we got to be sure to upload our episodes or shorts, all this, onto that platform. And he replied, I already did it.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you, bud.
Thank you.
This one's for you.
Oh, man, it's nice to be appreciated. I won't get used to it, though.
Yeah, please don't. We can't afford that.
Yeah. No,
Then you're going to want a paycheck, and then, everything else that follows, benefits, and, ain't nobody got time for that here, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ain't got nobody time for that, and ain't nobody got the money for that.
Ain't got no time, buddy.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I know what the problem is. Ain't got no time, buddy.
We're going to have to take you to the funeral home.
Oh, I can't even do that. Whoo. Okay, so speaking of funeral home.
Oh.
We have a topic tonight that is pretty interesting.
That's a bad segue. Okay.
It's
I'm just saying
interesting.
that's a bad... No, you keep saying interesting. That's a bad segue.
Speaking of shots fired, popping off on the toilet and whatnot.
Oh.
Our episode tonight goes over shots fired and kind of... it's not really a question that's out there necessarily, but a question that popped in my head after I saw this article and then did some research and found other articles over the past few years. But are guns randomly shooting people? We hear people say all the time that are anti-gun, guns kill people, and then you hear the other side of that argument. No, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Yes.
But this in particular is the gun by itself randomly shooting people, hurting people.
Really?
Discharging on its own. No trigger pull.
Okay.
So the case that I'm going to bring up here, the example, if you will.
Okay. Well, before you do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a manufacturer defect. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to the show. That's all she wrote.
But now I can't talk in circles to extend the time.
Oh, my goodness.
Now we're not going to get paid 685 pesos for this episode.
Dang, you get 685 pesos?
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, 1/millionth of a penny.
I don't even get that.
I'm just kidding. I don't math, so I don't know what that is.
I don't either. Yeah, man. So, do we know which gun it is? Is it more than one manufacturer?
So the one that we will be discussing this evening on this episode is SIG Sauer's P320. That's P320.
Papa?
3PO. It's like C3PO. I'm just kidding. I just confused everybody.
Yeah, you did.
R2D2.
Confused me. Yeah. All right.
So the P320.
This is serious, so.
Yeah, so the P320 was released back in 2014.
Okay.
And they had some issues back then. People that were accidentally dropping the weapon would in some cases notice that the firearm would discharge. So SIG reached out. They looked into it. They reached out. They said, okay, hey, there's a defect. When you drop it, sometimes the slide isn't all the way forward or something, and something's moving, hitting something that it shouldn't be. The spring is too loose. You can send them back voluntarily, and we'll fix the issue and send it back to you. And this was if they were dropping them.
Okay, so but SIG, the company SIG sent that out to its individuals who had bought the weapon.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, more recently, folks are complaining that the same model is allegedly firing on its own without even being touched. So it's not like you're dropping it and it goes off. So there's over 150 people to date that have claimed injuries or near misses from this happening. New York Times calls it a ticking time bomb. And one of the attorneys handling the case said that the P320 is America's most dangerously defective gun. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty crazy.
That's
some lofty claims there as well, right? Hey, the gun's firing on its own.
That's what I was just thinking.
So there was a competitive competitive shooter and YouTuber. I forgot his channel name. But he made a video and he made a claim that he was using the P320 in competition. I don't remember, I don't think that he had modified it in any way, but I wouldn't be able to say for sure. And apparently he had holstered the pistol and then put his hands up, to signify, hey, I'm not touching it. I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm done or I'm ready for the competition. And claims that the pistol, while it was holstered, discharged.
Really?
Yep. And supposedly there are several witnesses out there that are corroborating the story and saying, yeah, this is true. He did not touch it. He wasn't handling it. Nothing. It just misfired. And then some folks on the other side of the fence that weren't there or anything, but they're kind of speculating, well, was that the right holster for that gun? Did maybe the shirt get caught in the way? Was it a clothing issue? Was it, something? Because most of the time, a gun will not fire unless that trigger is pulled.
Right. I mean, like 99% of the time, that firearm is not going to discharge unless that trigger is pulled.
Mm-hmm. So this competitive YouTuber and shooter and YouTuber reached out to the company, SIG, and for his particular case, they identified it as a defective firing pin return spring.
Okay.
And they offered to fix it and everything, and he made the decision not to. He sent the gun in, but he told him, hey, I don't want you to fix it and send it back to me. I don't want it anymore, and I don't feel like in good conscience I could sell it to somebody knowing that it's had this issue.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with another firearm instead.
Okay. Well, that's his personal decision.
Yeah, absolutely. According to concealedcarry.com, they make a pretty good statement in my opinion, but they say that it's difficult to say if these are all cases of mechanical design or human use error. Like we said, is it the clothes getting in the way? Is it the wrong holster? Maybe there's too much movement in there, or when they're reholstering the trigger catches, or could be any number of things. Unfortunately, not everyone can be everywhere at once to see what's going on.
Right.
SIG did provide a written response saying that the P320 was not capable of firing without a trigger pull. So again, begs to ask the question, what is it that is engaging the trigger to make the firearm go off?
Yeah.
There was a video, a female police officer, I forget what department, but she's getting started for the day, holstered her weapon, walking to the car, and she hears a gunshot. And she's thinking, oh, shoot, somebody's shooting at me. Let me try to run for cover. And then she realizes her leg hurts. She looks down, hole in her pants. She had shot herself in the thigh.
Oh, my goodness.
So again, the pistol was holstered. She didn't take it out or anything, but supposedly it discharged on its own, and because of where it was at, it hit her in the thigh.
Goodness gracious.
So again, that's just another example, but we don't know the details surrounding that.
Right. Well, if there's... we'd have to know how many of them have been sold and how many of them are faulty, right?
Sure.
So if, say, there's 200,000 of them sold and there's like 100, or in this case 150 people are claiming that the firearm is discharging without them even touching it, hands up, or they're carrying something and whatnot, then maybe that's a big enough number that the company needs to recall its product to figure out where is the defect and if it's being manufactured in multiple places, which one is the faulty manufacturer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it is a factor of there's too much pressure applied to the trigger while it's in its holster. Maybe a bag got snagged or something and it goes off and it's just a really sensitive trigger. Again,
right.
The manufacturer needs to go back and take a look at this stuff. If they're claiming, hey, this can't be discharged unless you pull the trigger, then the company needs to take a look at its product, right?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
and me are not going to sell something if we've sold, I don't know, a firearm and say we have 200,000 of them sold and 100 people are coming back saying, hey, this thing's going off without anybody being around it. I think as a responsible business owner, you would make a claim, hey, we're pushing a notification out. Please send our stuff back. We'll either reimburse you or we will fix the fault and send it back out to you, no charge. I think that would be a responsible company.
That being said,
yeah,
a lot of these manufacturers do put their guns through some pretty major stress tests before they even hit the market. And they will drop them for this kind of thing to see, will it fire if it's dropped? Or,
right.
Shake them or drag them through the mud, the dirt, water, whatever. They kind of, what do they call it? Stress test them.
Yeah.
To see what they're capable of before they even make it to market.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. The responsible thing would be, okay, we're getting feedback on these issues. Let's try to figure out what the heck the issue is. If it's an actual issue with the platform or is it a user error?
Right.
And speaking of that, there is a Canadian YouTuber, and he's not affiliated with SIG. He's not an employee, but he has several videos out there that go to great lengths where he's covering details like the design, safety features, how to handle the P320 specifically, and understand the ins and outs. And supposedly he's not had any of these issues that other people are having. But again, he goes into depth, and this is how you handle this. This is how you carry that, or how you holster, or whatever it is. This internal mechanism, when you pull this or when you do that, affects this here, and yada yada, so that people can have that know-how and know what they're handling.
Right. But let me give some insight, because I have some insight, not on the firearm manufacturing, but I used to work for a medical distribution center years and years and years ago, right? And we would go in and we would do training and whatnot, and they would tell us that there's a lot, right? So a lot of medication would be, say, 100,000 products out of one mixture. They're going to make 100,000 products out of that. What they would do in the medical field is they would take the very beginning of that lot and they would put that through the test. Are the mixtures right or anything like this?
Sure.
If it passes all the tests, then they go ahead with production. Now, I'm not saying that the firearm industry does or does not do this, because I do not know. But I feel like you should, if you're making a production firearm, you would put it in lots, and you would randomly take one of those guns out of that lot that has been manufactured or produced, and then that's where you would stress test it to make sure that lot of firearms is okay. It would just be a random one.
Well, and there's federal or state or whatever regulations that they have to follow too when they're manufacturing these different platforms.
Right.
It's got to be built to these certain specifications, can't be built to those, etc. So I do feel like it is pretty well regulated. You're still going to have your odds and ends here and there.
Yeah.
But very interesting. I'd like to see how this unfolds further down the line. Some of the police departments have decided, hey, they're not going to carry that model of handgun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Others, it's kind of mixed reviews. Others, they've had no issues. So I don't know, again, user error, platform. Maybe there's just not enough education.
Maybe, or the departments who can't go with another firearm, maybe they don't have the funding to, and they're just like, well, we're stuck with it, so be careful.
Yeah.
So there is that as well.
Yep.
Because, defund the police and hoorah.
Yeah, that's going real well.
Yeah, well, when you defund the police and they have so many firearms and they can't go renew with another, say, like Beretta, they're stuck with what they got.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. It's really interesting to, SIG is such a good product.
Oh yeah,
I've never heard anything bad about SIG, and when you brought me this article, I was like, really? SIG Sauer? I've never heard anything bad out of them.
Well, and if you will recall, they are the company that won the contract with the DoD. What was that? 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Yes.
To replace the Beretta M9.
Yep.
And I think that was the 325, P325, or...
Okay.
A later variation of the P320, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's still got a lot of the same guts.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see if anything like this comes down from DC.
Yeah. But, I appreciate you chiming in.
Yeah, of course.
This was kind of a last minute. I saw this and I was just kind of intrigued by it. Wanted to get your take. I wonder, if any of our listeners have issues either with this same platform or with other platforms.
Yeah, if you have this exact same model, let us know if you've ever had any issues with yours, and maybe we can communicate that up with the company on your behalf.
Yeah.
Because we would like to know what 6 hours answer would be for the average Joe.
Yeah.
Hit us up in the comments. And if you like today's show, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a like or a 5-star, whichever platform you're listening to it on.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe and just keep checking back with us.
Yeah,
because we're pushing out new
stuff
content all the time.
Every day.
Every day.
Sometimes we might miss a day.
We might miss a day.
The next day. We'll come back the next day.
Other days we will be kicked off TikTok. So just make sure you're following us on multiple platforms, whatever works best for you. If you listen on the way to work, you know who you are. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We do appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day, doctor. But we do appreciate y'all very much, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Bye.
Bye.
We'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.jtandrewshow.com. www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.